As you see in this picture, a child is trying to study something but is not able to understand anything. And you can see a basin there on which there is a water which is poured. He was supposed to put water into the bowl, but he's kept the bowl upside down, and that's why he's not able to do it. This we call it as palte gade pe pani, because the child is not receptive. Anyone who is not receptive cannot learn. When you are giving lots of inputs to a brain which is not ready to learn, it's all waste of the inputs. So it's very important to make the child receptive. Make the child receptive by reducing his hyperactivity, reducing his sensory issues, and making the child learner friendly in the form of sitting, looking, and listening. Only if he is in a receptive posture, the inputs will reach to the brain, and if the child is not receptive, all the inputs will go waste. So always insist for converting the child receptive by tackling the sensory issues, hyperactivity, and helping make the brain with advanced basic neuroplasticity with which child will be ready to learn. As we know, child has to sense the environment to understand something, sense the people to understand people, sense the signals to understand signals, sense the language to understand language, sense the relation to understand relationship. So it's very important that child should be receptive, and for that the child's receiver should be well aligned with its inside satellite. So if the dish antenna is not aligned with the satellite, it is not going to take the signals from the satellite. And if the child is not getting the signals from the satellite, it's not going to learn anything from the environment. So it's very, very, very important that whatever sensory inputs which are given to the child, they need to reach the child's brain in an integrated fashion, and brain should be able to make an independent conclusion in integrated fashion. And for the same reason, there is a need for sensory integration. Now, sensory integration, which is external, which the therapists do by making the child exposed to a different variety of these sensory stimulations, by making them through various routes like auditory, visual, tactile, smell, taste, and all these things will help the child integrate the senses externally by the time it reaches to the child's brain. When it reaches the child's brain, different sensory centers are there for the different sensory inputs, and all of them need to be integrated internally by the formation of the connections and synapses, so that the child will be able to make a concrete output of it. Another example is that when there is a story of 4 blind people who went to see an elephant, but one blind people just saw the trunk and said it's like a cylinder, other one said it's like a wall, the third one said it's like a rope because of the tail, and other one said it's like a pipe because of the trunk. And all these blind people, when they started talking to each other, they could not conclude. But when they were given the integration input that all this can be parts of an elephant, and then they could conclude together. The same thing happens when there is a sensory dissociation, you cannot conclude. When you put it in order, when you cause it sensory association, it becomes internal sensory integration, and that helps in improving the cognition.